think depends on wherever you are. Today, I'm stoked to be joined by Juliana, who is the lead DevRel at NodeOps, and also we have a new face, and it's Monkey, who is one of the builders of the DoorHacks hackathon. So, guys, why don't you intro yourself, and then we'll provide additional context as for what's going down in today's session.
Hey, as
Hey,
Eric
everyone.
already said, my name is Juliana, and I'm DevRel at NodeOps, and I helped organize the hackathon that we are about to talk about today.
Hey everyone, I'm Mankey. I'm a 20-year-old self-taught software developer. I used to work at Zohouse. Right now, I'm just looking around, trying to build fun stuff.
Awesome, guys. So I think this is a precious dynamic we got here, because on one side we have Juliana, who is the main architect behind the hackathon, and then Monkey as one of the participants, right? So it'll be interesting to see the perspectives from both sides of the table in this instance. So the Dora Hacks, our most recent proof of build virtual hackathon was done in collaboration with Dora Hacks. We want to thank them at length about the amazing collaboration. We were stoked with the turnout and the level of the submissions, right, which we'll address and speak to. But if I'm not mistaken, there was an extension. So the hackathon ended 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. But over the last 2 weeks, the team has been hard at work to review thoroughly all the submissions across all the tracks. So Juliana, like, how were the submissions? Would you be able to provide some high-level stats about the projects that were submitted for the hackathon, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So the NodeOps Proof of Build Deepin Virtual Hackathon was from October 1st to 31st, but due to some DMs and popularity, we did extend it 1 week, so it went into November 7th. In total, we had 177 hackers, and we had about 61 projects. Of the 61, 28 were approved, and that was utilizing Dora Hack's AI assessment, which was really cool to work with. So kudos to Dora Hacks for that super cool tool, and that saved us so much time. Instead of going through 60 projects, we were able to narrow it down to just the 28 that got approved. So we had in total 5 winners and $5,000 in prizes. First place being $2,000, second place $1,250, third place $800, fourth place $550, fifth place was $400, and that was a combination of USDC stablecoins and platform credits. And one more thing, our hackathon aimed to promote like decentralized infrastructure of NodeOps by encouraging developers to create deployable solutions in AI, DeFi, tooling, and other application areas. All submissions were integrated into the NodeOps template marketplace, which makes them absolutely production ready. Throughout the hackathon, we did a bunch of like live streams and tutorials. And a lot of participants like learned how to leverage Docker and do containerized deployment. And the winning projects, all of their projects are going to, if not already, added to the marketplace, which increases their visibility and gives them potential revenue streams.
Fantastic, brilliant summary and recap. Monkey, from your perspective, right, how'd you find this experience, right, in terms of, I mean, overall, the building experience and interacting with AutoGen, and also the, what can I say, opportunity from day one to be live on our template marketplace and benefit from the ongoing traction, right, that the marketplace gets. So if it's purely market driven, right, in the sense that if your submission, or in the sense like a fully live project, is actually appreciated by the community, then you're able to access revenue share opportunity from the beginning. Is this something that you've come across in your previous hackathons as well, or is this a first?
So first, I would like to say so that like I haven't really taken part in hackathons before this. I've hosted some on Dora Hacks, but never really taken part in one. So this is
Okay.
actually my first proper hackathon. And second, I actually personally really loved like what Autogen is. Like basically, it is removing a lot of the boilerplate stuff for the end user, and it does not add much overhead for the developer either. Like it was very easy to like I was not familiar with Docker before this. I saw the tutorial Juliana gave, and I learned how to use Docker, and it was very easy to use. And yeah, I've actually had an overall really good and fun time building this. And as for the revenue stream thing, I think that is a great initiative, and there's a lot of potential products that can be built out on this. And I personally am also thinking of a few things that I can build out over this. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I think digging a little deeper, right, Julian, I don't know what you think, but sort of leveraging the fact that you're first, well, self-taught developer, right, and it's the first sort of hackathon that you're taking part in. Do you think that how do you think that building will actually look like going forward, right? Do you think there'll be more and more profiles such as yourself, right, that sort of like building and are driven by innate curiosity, and I just think, okay, I saw Juliana's video of developing, X, Y, and Z. I might like that, and become self-taught with all the instruments and tools that we have at our disposal, and then become what can I say, more and more proficient, and gradually participate in this opportunities, such as the most recent hackathon from our perspective.
Actually, I personally know a lot of people like these. Are you guys familiar with Super Team?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am actually friends with a lot of the Super Team folks, and I was also a part of Cross-Chain Clubhouse in 2023. But like, yeah, so the thing is, like, what happened with me is that I started learning code in like 2022, like end of 2022, and mid of 2023. Are you guys familiar with Zohouse in Bangalore? Yeah, so like, yeah, I joined Zohouse in like 2023, and then I was working there for like almost 2 years. And yeah, so that since I was working there, I wasn't really like, building for fun. So I quit a while back. And so yeah, now I'm trying out with like hackathons and all. And like, I'm 100% sure there's going to be a lot more folks who are just gonna, dive into things and just build out of curiosity. And yeah, I actually have a few friends who were not really familiar with Web3, but they are interested, and they're like, trying to learn and vibe code and build things just for fun.
That's awesome, man. Exciting. And yeah, I think there's an element of both opportunity and democratization, right? So you don't necessarily have to have studied computer science at university and have years of sort of technical knowledge. Now you can, of course, like always driven by hard work, because I don't think this always comes back to my mind when I'm thinking about this stuff, Juliana, from our experience at Permissionless, right, with our first hackathon, like on the ground, where like you can't just go blindly into building without actually having some context as to what's actually happening. And like I think like AI is a good what can I say, tool to leverage opportunistically, but you still need to understand what's happening like end to end. So exciting times. That said, I'm sure that everyone is tuned in to what can I say, find out the outcome of the hackathon. So without further ado, we can get to the winners. So Juliana, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm really excited to announce the winners. Just to give you a heads up, it was super difficult to choose the top 5. And the judging criteria was largely on innovation, feasibility, impact, and presentation. So we had to look at each of the projects, assess their template, does it work, and look at these criterias. And it definitely went through a few passes in order to settle on the 5 that we're about to reveal today. So we're going to do it from last place to first. So we're going to start with the 5th and then move our way to the 1st. So let's get started. All right. So there were 3 themes: DeFi, AI, and tooling. And it didn't matter what theme you were building for, as long as it was just a way to like categorize like your projects. So funny enough, all of our winners fell into AI and tooling. So the majority of our winners were tooling. So we're going to start with place number 5. So let me switch over to the demo screen. And what the winners have submitted is a video demo of their project. They're probably about 3 to 4 minutes, possibly shorter, and very short, goes through their project. So this first one is 5th place, and let me tell you about it. Very fascinating. This one is called X Mindshare, and X Mindshare offers social media analytics for X and Twitter by combining keywords with or query logic and measuring user influence through mindshare metrics. The solution also integrates Web3 payments with analytics access via the X402 protocol. So this project was absolutely mind-blowing. So I enjoyed the video. And if you guys need a complete list of the hackathon projects, and you can absolutely check out the Dora Hacks link. All right, now I'm going to start playing the video.
Frank here. This project analyzes X, Twitter, Mindshare based on specific keywords chosen by the user. The website implements the new X402 payment system directly on the blockchain. The user selects the words they want to search for on X. The API will then respond with a 402 payment required status and a payment request. The user must provide the transaction ID of the transaction sent to the specified wallet. Once the system verifies that the payment has been successfully completed, it will begin fetching the requested data. After validation, the system will display the results on the front end, showing both the most influential accounts by Mindshare and, subsequently, their related X posts for easy reference. Happy building, everyone. Frink.
All right, how was that?
I like the tool a lot.
So, is this a demo for submission?
Sorry. Cool. Before we go into the next one, I want to reiterate that that last project, the X Mindshare, is absolutely available on the template marketplace, which is you can just deploy your own and gives you valuable insight into Twitter and X. And in the payment platform is 100% functional. We were able to test it. It was incredibly impressive. So great job, Frank. Okay, so let's move into the fourth place. The fourth place winner was YouTube Content Creator. And this project, this tool utilizes Google Generative AI and Next.js to automatically convert YouTube videos into content suitable for blogs and social media. It uses Maestra agents for multi-platform distribution support. Now we're going to go ahead with the demo.
Hackathon. So I'm creating a YouTube content generator, which is a tool to transform YouTube video into social media message or content that can be posted to platform like blogs, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Okay, so how the tool works, so you give the YouTube URL like what I have done. So for the sake of the demo, I have done the analyze part in advance. So you give the YouTube video, you click analyze, and then it will generate video metadata, video statistic, transcribe, and comments. Yeah, and if you can see, the video is about someone testing and discussing ChatGPT research, ChatGPT deep research. Alright, so yeah, it has been generated, and then I can click content generation. I can add custom instruction in order to, let's say, if I want to generate the post in maybe more casual language, or yeah, basically you can add custom instruction for what you want to emphasize on the blog post or on the Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn post. So I do the demo for the message post. So yeah, here you are get the, the, the you can click on LinkedIn. Then yeah, it will appear here, and then copy paste uh, the message in the LinkedIn. It's also same. However, you just when you click copy instead, you just get it in your clipboard. You will copy in your Instagram. I have not done any integration on that. For Twitter, it's also same. Yeah, yeah, but it generates you multiple threads. So while it helps to open the Twitter or URL, the X.com URL, yeah, you need to do some manual adjustment because this is multi-thread post. And finally, you can generate a blog post as well. So yeah, and it also include the tag. You can delete the tag and I will publish to DevTo to generate a post. But you can decide whether you publish immediately or draft. I if I refresh, don't have the post. So let me click publish. Okay. I think I'm running out of. Um, I think the deployment review has been somewhat terminated. But yeah, the idea is that you can publish to the and then it will appear in this post. It's been working. And it's my deployment block. So it's there, but yeah, it's already doesn't exist. But yeah, thanks. Although the demo is not super complete, but just use the remaining pieces of the demo. You will be able to generate posts in multiple social media format, and with the blog post, you can just navigation to immediately see it after you are happy with the result. Thank you for watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I was muted. So big thank you to the creator of YouTube Content Creator and YouTube Content Generator. And I did test out this feature and it works. And I gotta tell you, as somebody who is a content creator, we use a lot of tools like this. And so for this to exist on the marketplace with a one-time fee and it consistently keeps working is a very powerful tool. So one that I find immediately useful. So congratulations. All right, let's move on to third place. All right, moving along. Third place is Erupt CDN. Erupt CDN is a content delivery network built in TypeScript and tailored for NodeOps network. It features intelligent caching, real-time analytics, and geographic traffic monitoring in a containerized environment. Now, this was a little bit of like a nerdier project that I really enjoyed because it was so out of the box. We see a lot of AI projects, that are using something cool like this, but for something functional that is like at the core, so very useful. This project was very impressive to me. So without further ado,
Also,
here it is.
use you prepare at least an image or a file that is stored in a cloud storage, and then you want to get a URL like for example, I'm gonna use image from Unsplash. So what you can do, there are two methods. The first one is to paste the image URL or the file URL in here, and then you're just gonna click the pre-warm cache, or you can type manually in here in the URL box. And for nodes, when you're deploying to Node Ops network, you want to replace this with your deployed instance of your CDN in Node Ops network. But the most important thing is that you need to write the pool $origin, and then you want to equal with the URL image that you have. So for example, I'm just gonna click enter here, and if you see here, okay, let's just gonna refresh here. So as you can see that the cache is being missed for the first time, and it's okay here because and on the second and the next one it will be hit, and you're gonna save so much bandwidth, and also making the image can be displayed more fast. So for example, let me just refresh here, and as you can see right now the cache hits. So let's just compare with the performance between the image that being stored with our CDN and also without the CDN. So let me just try in here. It's gonna go right here with an example of an image. So as you just can see before that the image that being stored in the CDN is much faster on load than without the CDN. So that's how you use our ERP CDN. And lastly, I will explain to you that what features that you can see or the analytics that you can see. The first unique features that we have is that you can see the global traffic distribution. So you can see where the user sees your files, and also you can in the future can manage to optimize a certain region to maximize the performance. That's all.
Absolutely. All right, so that was our third place winner, Erupt CDN. And the reason I found this very impressive, or we found it very impressive, was because it's now a tool, a perpetual tool that you can own and constantly have the ability to speed up the traffic for your websites. And if you go into the template, I think this is already available in the Node.js marketplace. There is a list of use cases for who would find this very useful. So for example, it would be like websites that have to pull a lot of images, like sales shops or something. And for something like that, you could save a lot of traffic. You can actually track like who's accessing your traffic. So this was something a little out of the box, and I was very impressed with it. So good job. Okay.
Well done. Well done.
All right. If anybody wants to jump in with commentary, the chat is open. Now let's move on to the second place. Second place is Wirt. Wirt is a Discord bot designed to convert documentation into an interactive AI assistant. The tool uses web crawling, embeddings, and vector search to deliver intelligent questions and answer interactions within Discord servers. So we actually have the creator of Wirt right here with us, Mankey. Would you like to demo it live, or do you want us to showcase your video?
I think you should just showcase the video. Right now. So yeah.
100%. And then come in afterwards with your commentary.
What is a simple Discord bot that I created for companies and projects to use to help developers find information on their documentation quickly. So oftentimes, like with junior developers, they would go on Discord and ask questions in either a support channel or create a ticket. And Vote can answer a good chunk of those questions instantaneously and automatically. So you can click on deploy to deploy the project, and then you're going to need a few things. Discord token, Gemini API key, and Pinecone API key, and a Pinecone index. Discord token is the bot token basically, and then the Gemini API key you can get from Google AI Studio, and yeah, Pinecone is the DB. As for the resource configuration, you can run it in these configurations, or you can run it in lower configurations actually, but this is what I've set by default. So then you just click on deploy, and then we're gonna go on Discord. So now we're on Discord. You can see this is my bot, and this is the name I've set up for it, but you can actually like customize this, like you can keep its name whatever you want and add whatever PFP you want. So I have Uniswap's documentation copied here, and what I'm gonna do is add the right word, and then we're gonna write train and then paste the link for Uniswap documentation. So now if you can see, yeah, the bot's gonna train our documentation. The backend is like going through all the pages in the Uniswap documentation, and this will actually take a while since like Uniswap documentation is like pretty big. So we'll come back once this is done. As you can see, so I was trained in the Uniswap documentation, and now I can just ask it, let's say, what is ERC6909? And it's gonna think for a while, and as you can see, it gives an answer. Yeah, that's how it works. You
All right, congratulations, we're on second place. We give you a little graphic.
Amazing.
Ooh, any commentary?
Okay.
If
Thank
anybody
you,
in the
thank you.
audience has any questions for Menki, he's here and available to answer. And as you can see, Worked is already available on the template marketplace, so anybody can deploy your own Discord bot that can train any type of documentation.
I have a question, for Monkey. So how do you come up with this? Like, what was the? Sorry, Juliana, can you mute yourself so because I'm hearing myself?
I believe I am muted.
No.
I can hear myself too.
Anyway, so what was the project that you were sort of looking into and analyzing, and for which you developed the tool?
So this is actually inspired from this one. Time I was in Eliza's Discord, Eliza AI, and they had a Discord bot basically to answer like simple questions. So that's basically how I thought of this. That, but on like documentation. We had trained the bot with like a data set. I thought, why not just make a web crawler which can just go through all the pages of a website and yeah, train it itself. You don't have to like give it a data set or something to train on.
Can you say that again? Apologies, because I think we were previously in the demo side of things, and I think it was sort of, yeah, there was reverb. So apologies, man. Like, if you can answer that again, please.
Yeah. I said that. Are you familiar with Eliza AI?
No.
I am.
Yeah. Eliza is a like framework to develop AI agents. So basically, yeah, in their Discord, they had a Discord bot which basically answered questions for developers. Really simple questions like from their documentation, but that was trained on like they actually provided all the txt to like create the vectors to like answer the questions. But what I thought of is that why not do that for like almost every possible project? Like you can just give it your documentation, and we can use a web crawler to go through all the pages on the website, and then you don't have to manually do that work. You can just give it like the URL, and it will automatically train and like can answer questions.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with Eliza, and I remember when I think was it eliza.gg was the URL, and they took it down after a while. But it was a way where you can like chat with the docs. I think they maybe turned it into a Discord bot now. But yeah, I was very impressed with it, and it really helped a lot of developers get started with Eliza so quickly, which is why it got so popular.
I was actually a contributor in one of Eliza's repositories.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I've worked with the creator of Eliza, so yeah, really cool people. Also, we currently use something very similar to your product in our current Discord, and we actually pay for it. So I'm curious, like, to see if we could replace our current Discord bot with yours, maybe in the future.
Sure.
So immediately useful.
First use case.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, let's come on down to first place. The first place winner is Agent Forge. Agent Forge is a no-code platform that enables users to design conversational AI agents using RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, without programming skills. The platform supports document processing, a variety of AI models, and provides integration options for seamless deployment. So without further ado, here's the demo.
Well, good morning. This is my submission for the NodeOps challenge. Where did I made for Agent Forge? You can find it on the NodeOps. When you go to template marketplace, you search for Agent Forge, you find Agent Forge, and choose it. Click on deploy template. When you get there, you find a brief description of what it does. And from there, you choose deploy now. You enter your OpenAI API key. You wait for the captcha verification. Then when the captcha is verified, you can deploy. When it's done, you start it. You find the endpoint, click on it, and it directs you to GenForge, where you can find various templates to use or make a custom agent from scratch. You can add documents to page so that your chatbot knows what to use to reply with. When you add documents, it will use that knowledge for reference when replying to user query. You can see the chat interface we have here for trying out the conversation with the agent. You see it replies with the actual knowledge from the document. Then you can upload more documents, more files to be used as knowledge. Here you can create an API key. With the API key, you will be able to embed it into an external website. So there is a query request you can make to try out. Webhooks, it allows you to integrate with other services. You can create a webhook and choose the event it should listen to. Widgets and API is similar to API keys. It gives you code snippets to be able to implement it on other websites with a default interface for it. That way you don't have to start designing a front end for the chatbot. It has it built in already. All right, thanks.
All right, congratulations. That was all of our winners. And to close up Agent Forge, this project was very impressive for its composability. I was especially impressed by the widget, the webhooks, and the API that it has, which makes it not only an easy to use agent creator, but also one that can start off non-technical for those who are not used to creating agents, but also become very technical for those who need it in a specific situation. So great job, creator of Agent Forge. Let's get a little graphic going.
Congratulations.
Thank you to, congratulations. Thank you for all of our participants. And we look forward to hosting more hackathons in the future.
Absolutely. Congrats to all the 5 builders and, as Juliana rightly pointed out, all the participants, right? Because with the opportunity to actually go live, if you have what can I say, a valid submission and a valid project to go live on our marketplace, there's almost as if everyone is a winner, right? Because the network is here to scale. So as we gain more traction and we scale to even further heights in the coming months, everyone stands to benefit. So if you have an idea and you feel that you want to go from 0 to 1, use AutoGen, and let's just say, we don't want to spoil anything, it will become always increasingly easier to come and create, build, and essentially just bring your idea and make it part of the marketplace. That said, bringing us back to the winners, right? Juliana, from your perspective, as being one of the key folks sort of driving the decision making and the evaluation behind the submissions, were there any, what can I say, overarching patterns that you noticed between the strongest submissions? For example, amongst the 5 winners, why were these selected over the rest?
Yeah, 100%. Well, first of all, everyone had a working demo, which was huge. I cannot say that about all of our approved submissions. But also, you guys, what really stood out was good docs and a clear video. That makes such a big difference. As I mentioned in our previous live streams, the thing that makes you stand out is the ability to communicate what it is. Because in order to have a template on a marketplace, you must communicate like what your project is, what problem it's solving, how to use it. So I was assessing them by not only how they submitted it via Dora Hacks, but also how they listed their template on the marketplace. So yeah, great video, good docs.
Sounds simple, but it actually isn't. I'm sure that definitely for builders, maybe they have more of a focus on actual building rather than actually narrating and documenting. But at the end of the day, if you want your solution to be utilized by others, you need to present it in an effective and digestible manner. So accurate documentation is a key facet and aspect of the whole process, as Juliana rightly pointed out. Eh, Obviously, it was a group effort, right, from our perspective, because Anya, you were liaising with other members of the engineering team. As you were sort of going through the submissions and actually reviewing them, were there any lessons learned from the team or from your personal perspective as well?
I would say a lot of apps integrated AI. I would say a lot of them did, but I don't think they didn't communicate that they solved a real problem other than just using AI. And I did learn that like some of the projects just didn't build, and if it did build, it was kind of hard coded. So those were lessons I learned during the review process, and that made it easy to just like review those and then move on to other projects. So yeah.
Understood. And maybe now we can make the most of having Monkey here as well. Like, what do you think of the other winners right now that you were able to witness and see their other presentations? Were you impressed by the general level of the submissions? And that's it, really.
If we are talking in terms of usefulness, I think all of them are pretty useful. If we're talking about level of submission, I think it could have been better. In fact, I honestly did not think I was going to win this because, like, yeah, this is my first hackathon, and yeah. So yeah, I think the level could have been higher, But in terms of utility, the projects are, yeah, I like them. I love them.
Yeah, it's our first hackathon, so I think that's a valid point, and there's only room for growth, right, and improvement, and you can expect more and more of these similar instances. We'll be doubling down both on hackathons that are virtual as well as in real life. So I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Juliana, I would say the reasonable prediction and logical expectation is that the level of the caliber and standard of submissions will just go just increasingly higher, right? And so I think this is a good start for sure.
100%. And I would just add to that, like this hackathon was to encourage decentralized infrastructure. And for that, you don't have to be the most cutting edge project, but rather something useful that exists on the marketplace that has a market. It's easy to understand, easy to use, and it's very useful. So that's what we prioritized. So, I mean, I think all of these projects, including the top 10, top 20, we're continuing to work with them to get them onto the marketplace and get you a positive revenue stream.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Absolutely. Apparently, Frank wants me to build my my own app. I have a lot of ideas, so maybe yes, maybe no. I don't want to take the shine away from all the other builders, although I'm not a builder at all. But yeah, I think there's a power in that, in the sense that anyone has ideas, and going forward, you mentioned this, right, and Juliana, the implementing AI in the right way can be a trusted ally, but it shouldn't be a substitute for the whole end-to-end delivery, right? Like it shouldn't make someone lazy. If anything, it should what can I say, strengthen and almost further substantiate, right, the building. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I would add to that, like, I think my advice to like builders who are boosting their chance in the future hackathons is to understand the problem that you're trying to solve and not just implement something cool like AI. Yeah. So that comes down to like, you know, how you approach the problem and what you're trying to build in the big picture, not just building something that is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, go on, Mankey. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And also, Eric, everyone is a builder nowadays. So yeah, don't say you're not a builder.
No, I am. No worry. Usually
Yeah.
busy with other stuff in terms of building content, narratives, and just creative opportunities for everyone. But for sure, let's just say that, yeah, I'll dabble undoubtedly. That said, yeah, I think you've said this a little bit, but maybe you can formalize your answer with this official question. Juliana, what do you think that there should be, maybe 3 or 4 best practices, right, for builders for some of our NodeUp's future hackathons, right, that they should adhere by?
I would say aim for something small and functional. We did see a lot of projects that seemed to aim for something big, but the end product wasn't there. And as I said before, concise video matters. I think aim to have a demo video that is on point, that is clear. It tells you what you're trying to solve, how you're solving it. And so that goes a long way. And also, if you need certain APIs for your project to work, I encourage you to share steps on how to get the API. So a lot of the projects, they required an API for me to test it, and I wasn't able to figure out how. So yeah, those are the top 3 steps. And again, that would be aim for something small and functional, concise video, and documenting APIs.
There you go. Thank you very much, Juliana. Monkey, have you got anything else you'd like to add, maybe from your perspective as a participant in the hackathon, of some of the best practices that you, although this is your first one, but of course, like, you know, if this is just a start, you're up for a great journey ahead, right? Because you know, you rank second, and you're the rightful recipient of the reward of the second place in this instance. So what were some of the best practices that guided your submission and creative process and for this hackathon?
So I actually spent a majority of my time in the ideation phase, like what I actually want to build. I feel like a lot of times people just like, jump into ideas and like start building, which I would say is not a bad approach, but it is actually a lot better if you just sit and like spend 30% of your time just thinking about what you're going to build and how you're going to build it. And then you spend rest of the time actually building it.
Agreed. Jenna, what do you think? Juliana, what do you think about that? Because I think, like, do you think it depends from the kind of builder that there should some can more focus on the problem statement, and then once they have the problem statement properly analyzed and thoroughly broken down, the solution part is easier, or it's better to have a bunch of problem statements, try and error, and then you find your journey to probably a useful solution.
I know there's a lot of brilliant people out there, and maybe you already have an idea in your head, but each hackathon has different criterias. And so 100% to what Mikey said, think about what you're building. And if you're aiming to win, you're gonna have to think about it. If you're aiming to participate, absolutely just build whatever you want. So yeah, great point.
Yeah, I think that is a great point, because like hackathon uh, presents restrictions, right, and rules, because otherwise it's impossible to judge accordingly, and there has to be an element of objectivity, right, for the submissions, right. But that said, if you have a crazy idea that you want to bring to life using AutoGen, just do it, right. Like the template marketplace could be like, there's no restrictions and there's no gatekeeping, right. If you have an idea, you can create it, dockerize it, and then put it on the marketplace. And all the doors are open for your creativity. So yeah, and I'm sure that this sort of you both agree, the more you build, the better you get at it, right. So the more submissions, the higher the quality, like as with everything, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mankey, I think you've spoken at the beginning a little bit about the experience that you had with AutoGen. Although it's only your first hackathon and you did come second, I think it's a good benchmark. How did you find your overall building experience end to end?
Uh, yeah, like I mentioned, I actually wasn't familiar with Docker at all. But like, yeah, it's fairly simple. And given the benefits, like, removing the boilerplate code from the end user's side, and you're just having to make a Docker file, I feel like, yeah, it's like there's very little overhead, but the benefits are huge. Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. And I think AutoGen was, what can I say, presented and introduced to market in a interesting way, right? Because it almost as if we're building and iterating in the open, right? Andrea, you can speak to this because you have sort of like a front row seat to the current features, the features being developed. So how would you say that we're doing, right, based on where we're at, and the 4 weeks to 5 weeks, I would say, that we've been live, and also what's cooking?
Yeah, it was crazy because when we started this hackathon, we didn't have AutoGen like fully fleshed out yet. So that's why our hackathon started with the criteria was to Dockerize and place on the marketplace. But halfway through, AutoGen started to stabilize. And even today, if you go to autogen.nodeops.network and connect your GitHub, you can deploy your full stack application, front end and back end, and you would have it live. We also added the ability to add a custom domain. So you can go into your DNS and then immediately you have like a live application in one afternoon or less, probably an hour. So that's like, a lot has changed in the last couple of months. And yeah, do try AutoGen to everybody who's watching and to all of our developers. And as you're building, as you're testing out your projects, it's really easy to deploy, and do tell us how it goes. So we're going to continue building and keep improving. We have definitely a bunch of new features in the pipeline, and they're coming out very quickly.
Absolutely. Could agree more. Let's just say the team is excited, and when they're excited and they're focused on working sort of wholeheartedly on something, good stuff tends to happen. So I would say there's no better guarantee than that. That said, we have, so what can I say, more visibility on what's happening next, right, and where we're heading. And I think it's testament of how much AutoGen has improved over the last 6 weeks, of the speed at which new features are being added, and it will continue to be in such a way, right? Of course, as Pratik correctly pointed out now in the chat, AutoGen is at autogen.nodeops.network for any builders out there. Correct to point that out. But the question I wanted to ask you, Juliana, is that how do you see the hackathons actually evolving in the coming months, right? Do you see there being more tracks? Do you see there being more builders? Do you see there being like an even bigger focus on AI? What's your prediction, given also not only where AutoGen is heading, but where the whole space is heading?
I'm going to take this opportunity and put in a plug. We have another hackathon on Dora Hacks. So if you look up on Dora Hacks AWS Vibe Coding Hackathon, it is $700,000 in prizes. It is a huge, huge bounty, I mean, a prize pool. So NodeOps is actually one of the bounties, and I think the only criteria is to deploy on AutoGen. So do check out our bounty. And with that said, I think in the future, from my perspective and from the hackathon organizers that I speak to, we're seeing like this AI vibe coding is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. And as you said, anybody can be a builder. As long as you have an idea and you're able to chat with AI, you can actually make your idea come to life. And with NodeOps, not only can you make your idea come to life, but you can also host it very easily and put it onto a marketplace very easily. So now you have an end-to-end flow from idea to market to getting into the hands of the people and making sure you can earn revenue off of it. So there's no limit to how many apps you can deploy. There's nothing stopping you from deploying 1,000 applications today and just seeing what sticks, what sells, what you can make happen. Yeah, that's my prediction.
And what a prediction. I think the market should and will be the ultimate judge, right? Or what's liked, what's less liked. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is try and put your ideas out there. And through AutoGen, anyone and everyone will be able is able to do so, right? So I think that's mega powerful, and I'm beyond excited. Maybe last question, Juliana, you were in Argentina last week, right, for DevConnect. What was was this stance of yours, right? This feeling that the vibe coding is here to stay, and it's all like there's always more builders coming into the space. Like, was this also validated and substantiated by your experience there? Like, what was the general feel to building?
I would say pretty much all of the developers I spoke to used AI in some way or another. I don't think there's anybody who wasn't. And if you weren't, I don't know how you're doing it. It's so much faster this way. But yeah, with that said, DevConnect was an experience for me to see the entire ecosystem, not just AI agents. So I was able to interface with all kinds of industry, including ZK developers, the stablecoin industry, DeFi and DePIN, and people who are working in the common goods protocol. So more of like governance and DAOs. So I was able to interface with a bunch of people, and I think AI was a constant part of that conversation. Somebody was using it one way or another. If you were not technical, you were using it as like an advisor or a chatbot or something to like arrange your thoughts. But if you were technical, one of the most impressive developers I met, I think, was I wish I had a chance. Like, I wish I could meet every single developer that went to DevConnect. But the most impressive one had a suite of AI agents that worked for him, including so he himself was a developer, but he had built 5 agents working under him, including a front-end developer, back-end developer, 2 front-ends, 2 back-ends, and then 1 project manager. How was he able to manage 5 agents? So he did no coding. What he would do is write in a markdown file a list of things for the agents to do. For example, like, I don't know, add this new feature. And then the project manager agent would go in and break this task down and later triage it and assign it to the agents down below. This was totally closed sourced. He was not able to share it with me. I tried to convince him to, put it as like, but this is the level of that it can get. You can absolutely leverage more than just a conversational agent and go into like multiply yourself into not just a 10x developer, but like 100x by duplicating yourself. So yeah, very cool stuff out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Almost as if like a builder of builders, right? So yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of that. Monkey, is there any concluding thought that you'd like to share with the audience? Of course, once again, thanks for being for participating and joining the virtual hackathon, and of course, congrats for being one of the winners. And of course, thanks for joining us today. But any parting thoughts that you'd like to leave the audience? Now is the time for you.
I would just like to say I'm gonna go and try Autogen right now because I did not know about that domain feature, and looking forward to more hackathons.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. And Juliana, as always, thank you for the great work you do. This was definitely like I would say like a great first chapter. And if anything, we're just gonna go bigger. Everywhere we go, right, going forward with future hackathons. But congrats, and the community, I'm sure, is appreciative of the great work you do. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these take quite a lot of work in terms of organizing. So thank you very much, and of course the rest of the team for taking the time on their busy schedules to judge the winners and evaluate the submissions. And of course, the most important thing, thanks to the participants, right, and the builders out there. None of this would have mattered without your participation. So yeah, our relentless focus on building is what can I say, unwavering, and you can expect it to just be our North Star in the coming months, in the coming years. And these hackathons are just like precious opportunities for you to showcase what you've been working on, for a chance to win exciting rewards. So that's it from my end. Julia, I don't know if you have any parting thoughts, but otherwise we'll end it there.
Yeah, final thoughts is that I had so much fun doing it, and I want to again thank every participant, every project out there. Even if you didn't win, there's so much we can do together. And to the winners, congratulations again. And I hope to make this experience better in the future as we organize more hackathons, virtual and in person. So do follow us, keep building, and we want to enable all of your ideas. Thank you.
Absolutely, could have said better. Of course, also thanks to DoorHacks. Great partner, made the overall experience seamless, and yeah, to more building. Thank you very much, and until next time, everyone.